Hello and welcome to my very first Streamlabs OBS tutorial. I'm Violent Tenchi. If you like what you see here, please drop a like and stuff. Shut up, phone. I don't like you. But yeah. So we're going to be focusing on the latest version of Streamlabs OBS version 0.18.5. Now, I've had requests for a little while to do a little tutorial and just explain how I set things up, because people want to know how to start off in Streamlabs and it can be a bit daunting to start off with. So I'm just going to cover the very basics. And if you want something more specific in the future, you might want to go into the comments and let me know, and I can make more tutorials in the future to help you guys out. And especially with overlays and things, I can help you guys with that if that's something you would like to see. So, the basic things you need to understand are the main layout. You want to understand how to set up sources. You want to understand things to do with the audio and microphone and a few other little things. So I will try and cover them as briefly as I can, just so you guys understand what I'm talking about and how it all works. So basically, what we have here is our main kind of, I'm going to say kind of editing screen, because it's called editor. This used to be across two screens, but they seem to have narrowed it down because they have the legacy view, but this is what you'll get now, as this seems to be what they want to do. You've got this little bit here which you can click on, and that brings out your it shows your viewers, it shows your chat, and it shows different things, and you can type in it as well, you know, and that goes into your Twitch chat and everything else, or Mixer chat, depending on what you're using. And you can refresh and you can see your viewers. You can see whether you're online or not, because sometimes that's handy. But you can also minimize it. So if you don't want that, you do not have to deal with that. I tend to keep it closed because I use a different device to watch my chat, as I only have one monitor. But if you have two monitors, that can be quite a handy feature to be able to see all that information. You also have the themes tab, which is very useful if you are a new streamer and you don't have layouts and things like that, and you can just import themes. You can get some which are free and some, well, these aren't free anymore. You can get free ones, which you can see here, you can get them for free, and you can get very basic ones, and you can have them for webcams, you can have them without webcams. It's really up to what you want. And there's loads of different options for customizing and things like that. Like I currently use the Facebook Gaming Bubble Soda layout and alerts, so that's the kind of thing you can use. This is what I'm using at the moment, because I'm a bit lazy. I haven't got much time on my hands, and so it's quite nice to be able to just go in here and grab an overlay without much hassle. So that's something you guys can do in your free time. There's the CloudBot, which I'm going to be honest, I don't really touch it because I don't feel it's the best thing to use. I think the only one I use is the word protection, because it's quite handy just to have that already. But you can use it for different things, like, you know, link protection, caps protection, just things that annoy you, basically. You can also do different commands here, but I tend to use a different chatbot, which I may do another tutorial on another day. Then you have the store, which again I've not had a proper look at recently, but it's mostly things that you have to subscribe to every month, and it's mainly things just to make your stream a little bit more, I suppose, interesting. So it's things like having, for example, Stream Pet's quite a popular one, where people donate and things to interact with your Stream Pet, which is usually in the corner of your screen, doing something cute, and that's quite good if you want to liven up your stream a little bit, maybe if you don't speak so much in your stream and stuff. So now we have the important dashboard, which you can see here. This is my personal dashboard. Your one will look different depending on what you do, and you can see, like, for example, your average views, average follows. I don't get much these days, I'm gonna be honest, it's a bit depressing, but you know, it happens. And you can get all this useful information and stuff, and you know, it's really useful. Like now they're doing competitions and things, and you can do all sorts of different stuff. You can also get websites now, and you've got there's a merch store, which I think I have stuff now on there, and they provide you with a tutorial for that, and you can make some really cool stuff for nothing, and stuff. So it's really quite useful. But yeah, dashboard's quite useful, but it's kind of obsolete now on the built-in version, whereas it used to be quite front and center in the application. So studio mode is quite handy, but I think you have to be in here for it to be useful. Here it is. So studio mode is quite good for when you are live and you're just trying to make an edit without people really noticing that you're editing. So what it means is that on this side, you have all your stuff you're editing, but on this side, it's what people actually see. So when you click transition button, whatever is on this screen appears on this screen. So it gives you a chance to prepare things, but you can turn it off and it's like this. You don't have to use it, but it can be quite useful. You have your logout button, so if I decide I want to log out and switch to, say, Mixer, for example, I would log out there and switch to Mixer manually. And then get help, pretty self-explanatory. And then a very useful thing that I use all the time is my settings. Now, settings can be really useful if you want to record, for example. Like I use these recording settings, for example, this. I'm currently recording, as you can see in the corner here. And you can set your location and things like that, which I can explain further in another video if that's what you want. If you're using a VPN, which I use a VPN, haha, woohoo. So with that, you might find that you can't go live if you're using a VPN because you're not connected in. So you need to go into your advanced settings and set up and bind to an IP, which I haven't done because I want my privacy. I don't want you guys knowing my IP. So you click on there and it gives you options, and usually it's got like a Ethernet 2, or depending on what you're doing, because I use Ethernet, so it's Ethernet 2, but some people is wireless. It depends what you have. It's very personal. So now on to the meat of the video, the bit that you're actually here to see, I suppose. And that is, how do I set up my screen for streaming? Now you may notice that in the middle, my sources, I have a display capture, and that is that's how you can see in this video my entire screen. Because if I didn't have that up, you would not be able to see anything. You just have a black screen. So think of it this way: if I were streaming right now, you would be seeing what you're seeing right now because of the display capture. This display capture captures everything within this kind of window. So that's the best way to describe it. So if I minimize, for example, you'll see all of this wonderful stuff. Like you'll see my Discord, you'll see all my tabs down here, all my wonderful apps that are cluttering my screen and all my different stuff. But yeah, and you see that as well. But honestly, when you're streaming live, you don't want to actually always show all that stuff, because say you want to quickly DM someone privately, like your moderator, for example, you don't really want that being publicly shown on your stream. It's not really what you want to be showing off. So you will probably want to set up window captures or game captures, which is something I will show you how to do just now, as it will provide you that bit more privacy from your audience, because you don't want your audience seeing everything. I used to do it back in the beginning. I used to use display capture because I didn't know how it all worked, but I'm doing this so you don't have to do that. So I'm going to do an example with Minecraft, for example, because it's an easy one that everyone generally plays. So first things first, you might want to change the name, so Minecraft. And usually I would say capture a specific window, and then I would find Minecraft, click on it, and then what I would do is I'd probably want to make that full screen, and then I probably want to center it off a little bit, and then what you'll want to do is trying to think of how I want to do this. You want to click on the bit here. I don't think you'll be able to see any of this, to be completely honest with you. But the little eye next to display capture, you want to click it, and then you'll have this black bit at the background. And depending on whether you have an overlay the top and bottom might be covered, so it's quite good. So just to recap that, because you will probably won't have seen any of that, when you have the Minecraft up and you've got that visible, which right now you can see it's not visible because I've clicked on the eye. So if I click it, you have that appear. Click it like that, it disappears, for example. So to get these things, I will show you. So you click on this little icon. You can move all these things, so they're not rigid or anything. So on sources, there is this little plus button. You bring this down. If you want to show off everything, including all your stuff in the background, display capture, and you just add source. If you want to do a game capture, add source. Sometimes if you're using windowed mode, you might need to use window capture. So for League of Legends client, for example, you might need to use window capture. But sometimes OBS can be a little bit weird with League of Legends, so if it doesn't work first time, it might take a few times. You might need to restart your client a few times or your OBS a few times, because I find for me that does happen. That's why I'm not doing it in this tutorial, because it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work. It's just an unfortunate thing that happens with League of Legends in particular. But yeah, another thing you can do, if you want to be one of those streamers who has a webcam, you will want to use video capture device. As you can see here, this highlights different things, so you can see it shows you when you click on it over here what kind of things it is. So Logitech webcam, for example, or you can use it for capture cards. So if you are using a Switch, Nintendo Switch, for example, you will need to set up it using the video capture device. So I will probably do a actual tutorial on how to do that kind of thing in the future, as I do have a capture card and things like that, and I can show you how that works, as it's quite a complicated thing to set up in the end. It's a little bit of a faff, but it's worth it. Another thing you can do is you can set up an alert box, which is, as you can see here, very essential, as it shows, as you can see here, if someone's following, subscribing, donating bits, donating money, or hosting, or raiding. It's so important, especially on Twitch. So you can add it in, and you can rename it, though you don't need to, and you'll get this screen, and you can literally customize these so much. You know, there's so much to it, which I can do another video doing a bit more custom stuff, because I do a lot of customized alert boxes. So if that's something you want to see, I can show you how to do that kind of thing in the near future. And you can always test your widgets on the screen. As you can see, my current one that I'm using there. And you can test them all here just to see how they work, see what they sound like, things like that, which is always quite good. I always make sure to try and test them before I start my stream, because it's just a good habit to get into, because if they don't work, it's a little bit awkward. Next thing you need to know is the desktop audio and mixer stuff. So you'll see the desktop audio here, and sometimes you need to set it up depending on what output device you have. So you can see here it's on default, but I have various speakers going on here. I have my Omen, oh, it's still going. Sometimes it does that. Wait, someone's actually just followed me randomly. What are the chances, lol? But yeah, I have my speakers, which are my headphones. I also have my monitor. These two don't count because that's my my microphone. So yeah, we have all of these that you can use, and you just switch them depending on what you're doing. So like when I'm doing Switch games, I always listen to through my headphones, because that's all that I can hear the volume in. So I would set it to that. And sometimes I do it through my monitor as well, but it depends. So I always suggest that you select whatever you're doing. Don't ever leave it default, because sometimes it just doesn't work or doesn't sound as well as other times. You also have your microphone, which I always suggest setting it to the microphone you want, because it's very easy for your OBS to make assumptions as to what mic you want to use. as I have a microphone in my headphones and I also have my Razer microphone, which is what I use right now. And so you want to make sure that you select the right one, otherwise you might have an awkward situation where you're using the wrong microphone, which is not ideal. You can also mute audio, or you can mute your mic through here. If you don't have a quicker way of doing it, there you can mute them there. Another thing you'll want to know, as this is only a short video just to explain the basics, you will want to know that there are scenes, so you can create different scenes, which you can create them for like stream starting now or stream ending now, things like that, which you can they'll set up automatically if you use the themes widgets that you can get. But I do encourage you to experiment. There's all these different things, there's goals and things. So if you want to see anything in particular, please just let me know. I can do that kind of, and do different tutorials for different things, as you can pretty much customize everything here. Everything can be customized. So please, if you want any more information on how to do things, please let me know. And please drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you again in my stream. Bye for now.